Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to kick it with the basics. I have been asked by a few people just some simple questions about makeup, and in my head I think that you guys probably know about the same, if not more than I do, and that some of you guys are learners and I don't think of anybody as a beginner, to be honest with you. So if you are somebody that maybe isn't really into makeup or is starting to get into makeup, or somebody that is learning or wanting to develop their skills just a little bit more, then you come to the right spot, because we have a new series that's going to take it to the simplest techniques and skill level, and hopefully you guys can learn something new. Hopefully you guys find what you need in this series. I will be creating a playlist that says basics, which is where you'll find this series. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to see how I got this basic look, then let's go. Alright guys, so the first episode of this basic series is going to be a simple eye look. So I have been asked to basically simplify makeup, and I figured doing a bunch of little mini series would help you guys with certain things. So the first thing I'm going to do is you need a primer. I was the person that always felt like adding a primer was chanchulla. And if you're wondering what that means, that's Salvadorian slang for like that someone was trying to pull fast one on you. So it's not true. If you have oily lids, or if you're just a naturally oily person, a primer will help the wear of your makeup. You don't need it if you're okay with creasing. If you're somebody that wants to have their makeup last all day, or if you are that person that's easily annoyed with creasing, then you need a primer. If you have dry lids, you really don't need one unless you are trying to color correct. You could use a corrector for that. You could use your foundation for that. Drier lids tend to have a little bit more flexibility in terms of what product you can use, but I have oily lids. So for today, I actually did not use an eyeshadow primer. I used a face primer. I took this little mini sample of the Fenty foundation primer, and I put that on my lids, and I just set it with some powder. Okay, so for someone that is looking to just get into makeup, you really don't need a massive collection. Having something that caters to your color palette or what you're interested in is the best option before you go and you splurge on larger palettes. For today's look, I'm opting to use the Viseart Milieu palette. It looks like this, and the reason is because really you have a lot of neutral options, and then you have these little pops of color. I've already powdered my lids, and I'm going to start off by taking this first shade here, and with a fluffy brush. Fluffy brushes are really essential to make sure that you're getting the softest application of the color. You don't need to add a ton of color right away. You want to slowly build it up, because it's easier to build up versus having to clean up a large amount of pigment. So I'm just taking the fluffy brush, dipping into it, and I'm just taking this color into the crease, and I'm lightly rocking it back and forth. As you guys can see, I'm holding the brush at the very end of the ferrule, and the reason for that is if I were to hold it here, I'm going to apply more pressure, and that's going to just apply the product heavily. Whereas if I'm using very light, soft strokes and I'm holding the brush at the very end, then I'm not applying a ton of pressure. I'm just using very light, soft, and gentle strokes. This is a look in itself. I could take liner and call it a day. But for the sake of showing you guys a simple look, no, it's not simpler, this is the simplest look. But if you're wanting to do something that's a little bit more fancier, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now that I have that, I'm going to go in with this shade here, and I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to do the same thing. And this is going to intensify the color that we applied. and it's also going to just kind of help blend this out. So the reason why we layer, and by layering I mean I applied my primer and then I went in with a translucent setting powder to set that, right? Setting the primer is going to help create a smooth canvas to apply your pigment. After I set it with a translucent setting powder, I went in with my first shade, which is the soft brown, and that's going to help blend this shade. So I'm just rocking that back and forth, and again I'm using very soft pressure. Do this eye, and I like to start at the top and then blend my way out. Some people like to start at the ends so that you don't have a ton of color. And all I'm doing is following the natural shape of my eye and then blending that back and forth. I'm just applying pigment to the very tip of the brush and using that to create the shape I'm going for. As you guys can see, it kind of looks like a cut crease. And so far I've only used one brush. I would say that this brush is a staple, and it doesn't have to be this brand, but something fluffy and flat like this is going to help shape and blend. And by that I mean place your pigment down to create the shape that you want and blend and diffuse the color so that it looks soft and blended. I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go back into that brown shade that we were using, which is this here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that color right under my eyes, and by applying this here, it's just going to create a very soft, smoky lower lash line. Already you guys can see the difference. And I'm just going to start at the outer corner and then bring that back in. So this series is actually inspired by two of my really good friends, Patti and Katia. I was talking to them and they were asking me questions about makeup and products that they have, and the questions that they had, I'm sure, are questions that a lot of people had. I'm just going to take this color and just kind of put it right in the outer corner to bring everything together, the top and the bottom. And then my cousin's wife, Melina and Vera, hi, have always asked for like the simple tutorials, so like the basics, which is again what this is going to be. I'm just taking this and blending it. So hopefully you guys enjoy these, and then let me know if you guys have any suggestions. But I have a nice little list going. One brush and I've applied shadow to the top and the bottom. So you can make this look special with a few different things. You can change your lip color so that it's either a nude or a bright color or a red, whatever your little heart desires. You can do a winged liner. For today's look, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to take a red lipstick. This is Dior's 999. So this is the look. This is very easy, right? You have a really pretty soft smoky eye with a red lip. We're going to take that up just one more notch, and we're going to take this liquid liner. This is the Fenty liquid liner, and I'm going to attempt to do eyeliner on camera, but you guys know I'm blind as a bat, so I'm gonna have to let you go. Let's try this. If you're not an expert at creating a wing, you can skip this. If it comes like natural to you, like my sister Alba, who just, and she's done, then do you. I am going to just lightly take this, and I'm doing just a really thin line, and I'm actually doing this how my sister does it, Alba. She does the center and then out, and she does her flick. You could leave it like that. I'm actually going to take it all the way in and do a wing, but it just, seeing it like that made me think of her liner. Her eyes are also smaller than mine, so it elongates her eye. And for her, if you have smaller eyes and more Asian looking eyes, that's the only way I know how to describe it. She looks like she could be Filipino. It makes her eye look smaller. So because I have larger eyes, I can go ahead and line my entire lid. If you have smaller eyes, I would say start at the center of your eye and then create your wing. So doing the wing is hard for me on camera because I really need to get close. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my liner. You could just do this, just so you guys can see. I'm just showing you options. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my wing and then come back and we'll finish the look. All right guys, I am back and I have some wings. I'm gonna take my mascara and just apply it to my lower lash line because when we smoked out the lower lash line with the shadow, I covered up my lashes. This is the final look. Super easy. It looks like you took a lot of time with your makeup and it looks like you really tried and, you know, look very polished and put together. This is definitely something that you could wear day or night. And if you wanted to, you could totally go in with a deeper shade just to intensify the eye a little bit more. But because we're keeping it simple and we're taking it back to the basics, this is the final look for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you guys want to see a nude combination, then let's go. All right guys, I gave you color. Now I'm going to give you a nude lip. I'm going to take Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut and line my lip. For my lips, I'm going to be using a Fenty liquid lip, and this is in Uncuffed. Alright guys, here is your nude lip. You can definitely go with something that's a little bit more beige, more pink. Go with whatever you're comfortable with, but because the eyes are so simple, I wanted to just add something that's going to give a little bit more color. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know what are some of the back to basics you'd like to know. If you guys have any specific questions about makeup, brushes, routines, whatever it is, let me know and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and welcome to this basic series. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.